It's the Uprising.
Welcome back to the Uprising. I'm Pac, and this is Adam Lumley. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Another week of craziness and us trying to survive the apocalypse. So we got some craziness to talk about, like every week. And our topic's going to be for this week is going to be Rick Snyder, former Michigan governor, man in charge of the Flint water crisis. He endorsed Joe Biden. I ain't too happy about that. Suckers and losers. We're going to talk about Trump's alleged saying that veterans that died in World War I and other things are losers and suckers, and talk about that as well. We're going to end it with the Trump boat party that all those boats meet their demise, which was kind of funny. Luckily, no one was hurt, so we can make fun of them. We had to talk about the California fires, West Coast fires, not just California, and the gender reveal idiots that started some of the fires. And I'm not happy about that either. And Trump, he knew the truth about COVID-19. This moron had an interview in February and had his interview record all these conversations. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about, now this is sports related, but I thought it was important. So Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and Skip Bayless, a clown that gets paid a lot of money to make stupid sports opinions. He definitely put his foot in his mouth about Dak Prescott. We can just get into that now. So
All right.
Dak Prescott, he is dealing with some depression during the lockdowns. And then his brother unfortunately committed suicide. And rightfully so, and understandably so, he was really depressed with that. And he said he had ideas in his mind that you would normally not have. You can go through the conclusion of that. And he opened up about it and about his depression and how he's dealing with it. Now, Skip Bayless and the legend Shannon Sharp, they have this sports show called Undisputed. It's on Fox Sports 1. And they talk about sports, and both of them are kind of play characters. And it's not real – I can't stand that type of sports commentary. It's more show than real opinions. If you don't know, I used to have a sports podcast, so I know sports fairly well. Anyway, so the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because Skip Bayless had a pretty ridiculous opinion on this and saying that he shouldn't bring that stuff to light because it will come back to bite him on the football field, and his teammates are looking up to him as the leader of the team. And I think I understand it too a little bit because they're going to use that against him. But at the end of the day, people commit suicide because they don't open up and they don't look for help. And a lot of people in this country are really sad and really depressed for numbers of reasons, losing their job, losing their home, losing family members, losing friends, and etc. Or even if those things are not happening, just sad because our country's in a lot of disarray. Our president's an idiot that doesn't care about the people, or we're ripping each other apart. I mean, it's one of the darkest years in this country's history, especially modern history. And even athletes that make millions of dollars and are in the limelight, they're human too. And them having depression and them losing someone and being depressed because of that and being depressed because of other things is understandable. And this suck it up, be a man mentality needs to stop in our culture because it's one, ridiculous, and two, it's dangerous because, again, men, I'm talking about men, I'm not talking about women necessarily because they're a lot better with their emotions than men are when it comes to opening up about their emotions. A lot of men do a lot of stupid things because they don't feel like they're able to, people listen to or care about their problems. So,
Dad, what are you doing?
and they can,
Sorry.
it's okay. So, they, it's a hard time for a lot of people. And I empathize. I feel bad for Dak, and I feel bad for a lot of other people. This virus hasn't.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hey, buddy.
He always wonders what I'm in here doing. When I'm doing
Right.
Okay, we're clear. Sorry.
We had a God. What's that guy? He works for the Intercept. Ryan Grimm moment.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's had a Ryan Grimm moment. So like I was saying, I have a lot of empathy for Dak. I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys, so I have those resentments, but that's just petty sports thing. So, yeah, Skip Bayless is an idiot, and this mentality needs to stop.
Yeah. I mean, depression is a real thing. Just this year alone, I think I've lost 3 people that I know to suicide. 2 of them during COVID. So it's a real thing, man. It's not something to play with, or if you've never dealt with it, it's easy for you to brush it off as you need to tough it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how depression works.
Yeah.
So the mentality of kicking people when they're down is pretty American.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So
it doesn't work, and it doesn't help the conversation either. Because I mean, when people asking for help and wanting people to listen and care, and you're just saying toughen up and be a man, essentially, like, well, that doesn't help anything. We're not in the 1950s anymore. We can't have this certain ideology anymore. It's toxic, and it needs to stop.
Right. Well, it's been passed down from generations to generations. So
yeah,
the best thing to do is not teach it to your kids.
Okay, well, let's talk about that bastard Rick Snyder. Man should be in prison.
Oh, here we go.
So he endorsed Joe Biden, and he had the audacity to say that Trump has no morals. He has no concept of local health and community health. And, of course, Joe Biden's moronic campaign completely took his endorsement and was okay with them. So, again, if you're not aware, Rick Snyder, he was governor of Michigan during the Flint water crisis. Mm-hmm. And the reason why the Flint water crisis happened is because they wanted to cut costs. So in the way of doing this, they stopped using the water source they were using and started using the Michigan River, or whatever river that I forgot. I think it's the Michigan River. And no one used that river. The local community in Flint and other areas of Michigan hasn't used that water in hundreds of years because it's toxic. It has tons of things. And lead is one of them. And lead got into Flint water's pipes and everything, essentially. And the whole town, Democrat, Republican, every race, everyone, unless you're an elitist, pretty much everyone that's a normal person was affected by this crisis. And with that lead poisoning, that's permanent. If you have lead poisoning, it never goes away. You have birth defects. You have IQ decreasing. You have anger for no reason. Some people think that one of the reasons why crime has gone down is because we got a lot of lead out of everywhere in this country. And okay, I can see the logical conclusion of that. So again, I don't know who okayed endorsement from Rick Snyder, but whoever did that needs to be fired immediately. Because one, that guy is a monster that should be in prison because he did that because he did the whole switching because just to cut costs and be a corrupt dickhead. And mind you, these are the same people that gave Bernie Sanders' campaign all types of hell for accepting Joe Rogan's semi-endorsement.
Right.
But they're allowing Rick Snyder, person that should be in prison, and a whole bunch of other Republicans. They're okay. Oh, as long as we beat Trump. But a guy that has a humongous fan base, let's that said some stupid things in his life. Let's hate him and try to destroy Bernie's campaign because, like a lot of these things that we're finding out about the establishment, is they're not honest actors. They will do everything they can to destroy you politically, just like Republicans do, because they are Republicans, and they will not use the same rules that you use. So I'm going to say this. I'm not going to talk about Rick Snyder again unless it's relevant, but fuck Rick Snyder and fuck whoever thought that was okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the nerve of him talking about Trump doesn't know how to handle a health crisis. I mean, dude. Yeah, the people of Flint, I think that's what he's doing. He's probably fleeing Flint. You know, I don't know what they're doing. Why they had these Republicans at the convention, and why they're taking endorsements from the worst kind of Republican. Like, there's plenty of other Republicans who didn't poison people's water or didn't let people die because of their inactions. And this is who they choose to endorse, and they think this is going to help them with what kind of voters?
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Mean?
Like, who the fuck wants Rick Snyder's endorsement? Like, who the fuck thinks this is a good idea?
Republicans don't want it.
All right? Who the fuck thinks this is a good idea? Like, how the fucking stupid are, like, you guys just trying to fucking lose? I'm cursing a lot because it infuriates me because these are the same motherfuckers that have been giving us all types of fucking hell because they want us to vote for their shitty corporatist Republican light.
Right.
Mind you,
they're rubbing it in our face. They're rubbing it in our face, bro. They're like, you need to vote for Biden because Trump's the other option. Come on, corrupt Republicans. Come on, evil Republicans who poison people. And then they're gonna turn around to progressives and really think that that's going to get us to vote, because that's who they need to be trying to get, not Republicans. The Republicans who've decided they're not going to vote for Trump, they're either not going to vote or they're going to vote for Joe. He needs to get the young progressives to vote. That's the endorsements he needs to be thinking about. Mm-hmm. It's stupid, man. I hate they're rubbing it on our face, too. Like, we got to make a fucked up decision anyway, and y'all going to put shit icing on top of the crap cake. It's fucking crazy.
It's because they know that most people are going to vote for Joe Biden, and they know that we can't say anything because Joe Biden.
What's our other choice?
I mean, Donald Trump, is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And it makes me fucking hate him even more because he's a fucking monster, and we had to suck it up. And I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden, but if we lived in the swing state, I would, because what's the other option?
Right.
So,
Whew.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. What we got next?
Phew. It'd make me mad as well. Trump, he
Which we all knew this.
I mean, come on, yeah.
We knew it.
He allegedly he was said that people that fought in World War One and Vietnam were losers and suckers because they died. He let me set it up a bit better than that. He was in France in 2018, over for France to meet with the president of France and everything else. And the president was supposed to go to memorials for soldiers that died in World War One, and it was raining. Trump didn't want to go because he's going to be stuck in traffic. He was going to mess his hair up, and he just didn't want to do it because Trump is a maniac that only cares about himself and what these people can do for them while they're dead, so he can't do anything for them. So he couldn't care less. So allegedly, again, he said that. He said a lot of other fucked up things. And mind you, these are the people. This is the person that says he loves the vets and he loves the military. He says he's the greatest president ever for the military. I hate to break it to these people, but your president doesn't give a flying fuck about you.
No, this is the same guy who said when it's talking about John McCain being a POW that I like people who don't get caught.
Which I was going to vote for Trump.
It's not surprising. Like he disrespects his own voters and they still vote for him. He disrespects the vets and the vets still praise him. Some of them.
Actually, he's losing a lot of support from them, but
now. But I'm saying he should have lost it a long time ago.
He's been losing a lot of support. The whole thing he did with Turkey pissed a lot of people off with the Kurds, and he's losing a lot of support, but he still has a good chunk of support. A lot of people still really like him.
And with the stupid moves that the Democrats are making with their endorsements and stuff, it's like, why are you guys had this in the bag?
Yeah, no, and like I was saying, like, are they just trying to fucking lose, or I don't understand. Either like I said before, Democratic strategists are the stupidest people in the politics. Comes to politics. Yeah. I've been trying to tell my friend, just become a Democratic establishment surrogate. You only have to be good at it, and you get paid a lot of money. I mean, it's pretty true. You have to be good at it, and you get paid a lot of money. You don't even have to win, and you get paid a lot of money. So I don't know if presidents said that. John Bolton said he didn't say it, and a couple other people said he didn't say it. Who knows? It wouldn't surprise me if he did. Is it going to get a couple more people on Joe Biden's side? Probably. Yeah. Are the Trumpers going to believe it? No. And even if they recorded him saying that, they still won't believe it. Which
they won't believe it if they hear it, or if they see it. If they were there live and he said it to them.
Yeah. Which brings me to a segue to our next story. Oh, all righty. So Trump, he in August, he had a interview with Bob Woodworth. He's a really good journalist. He's been doing it forever. And Woodworth does a lot of really long interviews, and he usually puts all this in these interviews to a book. Mm-hmm. And he interviewed the president for roughly 18 hours, not consecutively, I'm assuming, but over a period of time. Over a period of time. And the president agreed to these interviews and agreed to have them recorded, which I I don't understand that. And why I don't understand that, because Trump is an idiot, and I'm going to explain why he's an idiot. So, in one of the interviews, President Trump admitted that he knew about how deadly the virus is. He knew August the 7th because he talked to Mr. Pu, President Xi from China. He had a conversation with the president from China, and Mr. Pooh, he looks like the Pooh Bear. He doesn't like being called a Pooh Bear. So the president from China. So screw him anyway, too. But so he had a conversation with President Trump, and President Xi told him about the virus, how it has a roughly a 5% death rate, how it's a airborne disease. So Trump all knew all this information.
In August.
In August. No, February. Actually, January he knew it, and he had this interview on February 7th.
Okay.
So he knew about that as a airborne disease. He knew it as a very deadly, serious disease. He knew it. He said himself is worse than the flu. Mind you, weeks later, he had a humongous rally saying that it's just the flu. It'll go away.
When it
It's
gets
a
warm.
hoax. It's a Democratic hoax. Don't worry about it. So the fake news media, when I say fake news media, I'm talking about Fox. They're trying to do everything they can to spin and say that he wasn't trying to scare anyone. And I'm getting ahead of myself again, because he said in another interview with Mr. Woodworth about he's downplaying it because he doesn't want to panic people. Translate, he doesn't want to panic the markets. He's downplaying it because of that, and he wants to get reelected. So there's studies that if he would have acted weeks earlier, he could have saved 50,000 people, 30,000 people. Who knows? But 100, almost 200,000 people wouldn't be dead if our president wasn't a monster. And this saying like, well, we didn't want to panic people. What fucking country were you people living in early March? This country was out of control. Everyone was panicking, stealing toilet, like taking toilet paper, and like we looked like a whole damn apocalypse was happening for a couple of weeks. The markets were completely falling apart. And why? Why was that happening? Because our president wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything about it. So everyone was going crazy because of that. So him saying that I don't want to panic people is fucking nonsense. Either he's lying, which he probably is, or he's just a fucking idiot. He could have just treated the American people like adults, not fucking kids. Say, this is a serious virus. It's not the plague. It's a serious virus. We need to get masks. We probably need a social distance. I don't really know what that means, but I would even sell Trump masks. 2020. Everyone needs to wear a mask. And he could have just did. He could have did that.
He would have did that, and he would have pretty much guaranteed re-election.
Yeah. And I just came up with that in my head just now.
Right.
And he has speechwriters who are way better than that, stuff like that, than I am. He could have even had it even better than that. And what I just said could have worked. So it's other fucking incompetence and ridiculousness. I was telling Pac earlier in the week, and I was telling a couple other people that this might be his death knell, but thinking about it more and more, it might be, but these people in a cult, and he could kill their own family and they still wouldn't care because they're in a cult.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. Not any other president, their campaign would be over. Like they would just resign. But we live in the Stranger Things upside down world, and everything that would have happened 4 years ago doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
So, man. Hopefully, Joe Biden gets elected. We actually do something about the virus. I don't fully know what he's going to do about it, because Democrats, just like the Republicans, are very incompetent as well. So, again, screw Donald Trump and screw everyone that's defending these terrible actions.
Right.
What do you got to say, Pac?
Oh, I mean, we all kind of figured that he knew about this before everybody else. He'd been downplaying it the whole time. He took the stupidest path he could take, which to me just means he's just stupid. I think that the problem is he's trying to use his own train of thought of what he needs to do instead of listening to the people, the advisors, and the people he should be listening to. Yeah. I think he thinks this is all a show and a game, and he's playing with all of our lives. That's just my opinion. And,
Yeah, I mean, it's not completely off. And everyone will say, well, Fauci was saying no mask as well. Oh, the reason why they didn't do that because they didn't want to run out of masks. The N95 masks that our medical people needed. Again, if he was an actual competent president, not an idiot, and not surrounding himself with even stupider people, he could have said, please don't take the N95s. Everyone's not going to listen, of course, but most people would. The president, his supporters will listen to whatever he says. And most liberals will listen too because we care about
and we
science.
Just hold him accountable for what he says.
So, for the most part, people would have listened. And two, they could have, just like World War II, they could have mass-produced masks. So, again, that's another stupid nonsense talking point. So, like, I feel like we're living like a upside down. Like, how are these people so incompetent? Like, you and I can figure these things out, and we're just podcasters. I don't have medical experts, so.
Well, we've been unhooked.
All right.
A lot of these people are still in the matrix.
Yeah, maybe.
That's it. They don't see the world for what it really is. They see it for what they want it to be and what they believe it could be. And when you add that in with people who have hatred and stuff like that in their heart, then that's where you get these nuts. But yeah.
Oh man.
What do you call the people that support a crazy, stupid monster?
A cult?
Yeah, I guess that's being nice.
Death cult, I guess, because
I mean, again, man, it's to be on the bad guy. To be the bad guy and not know you're the bad guy is crazy. It just embrace being the bad guy, you know.
But they're the good guys, right, Pac? They're the good guys. That's what's in their stories. They're the good guys.
Yeah, let them tell it.
All right. No. Their reality, the sky is red, and we live on clouds. So they don't live in the real world, but we live in Trump land.
Yeah.
So speaking of red skies and living in dystopia, this is going to be our last topic, and we're going to talk about Trump boat party. So West Coast, pretty much all of the West Coast is on fire right now. Climate change is out of control. They're having the worst wildfire season they've ever had in California. Pretty much the entire state's on fire. Pretty much the entire West Coast is on fire. Oregon, California, Washington, Colorado, Nevada, pretty much every state in the West. And, we have one planet to live on. All the other planets that are even remotely habitable are light years away. And I don't understand why the elites don't care enough to realize that we don't have another planet to live on. either they're so stupid that they believe their own nonsense, or they just don't give a shit, and they know that they're going to be safe. They know that they're going to be on their
Yeah, no matter
2012
what.
2012 plane ship or whatever you want to call it. If you see in 2012, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make sense to me why, like, how are you this immoral? And the other thing that doesn't make sense to me, are we just already too far gone? Like, I feel like we are, honestly. And just the scientists are not telling us what the truth yet. Because I feel like
Yeah, they've been telling us for years, but the people who've had the power to make change, to make it better for us, to give us more years on this planet, haven't done shit about it. And you know, it's crazy, man. I just was scared for my son, man. All this madness going on, and then on top of a virus, and we've got climate change, and it's like it's all coming together, man, and not in a good way.
You and people that and the people that like can't stand immigrants and hate them with everything they have, like if they really thought about it, they would support a Green New Deal as well, because where do you think they're going to be going? Everyone that lives in Central America and those
You're
areas.
not going to be riding with them to the planet they build in space,
right? Like, and they're going to make, when those places are not habitable anymore, which likely going to be in our lifetimes if we don't do anything about this, they're going to be moving here, and they're going to be moving to Canada. So again, we need to do something about it. Like even the immoral people should want to do something about it, because all their irrational fears will actually come true, because everyone's going to be here, because those places in Central America and South America is not going to be habitable anymore. People can't live. You can't live in 140 degree weather. It's not habitable. Like 121 degree weather, which was in California not too long ago. You can't live in that weather either. So, and we don't have any other options really for most of us. I worry that Elysium, that movie, Matt Damon movie, is going to be our future, and looking more and more likely. And instead of some stupid spaceship, they're going to be living on Mars or other planets, and we're going to be here dying and killing ourselves. But we can do things about it. We can change this country and change this world. But we have to get to people that actually believe in these things and want to change the world for the good. And that doesn't necessarily have to be just Democrats either. Mostly, usually Democrats. But Republicans could run as well on climate change and Medicare for all and things like that as well.
Yeah.
If they're smart, they would. If they're smart is the key word there.
There's the if, yeah.
Go ahead, Pack, and I want to talk about the stupid gender reveal parties, and hopefully we cancel that like we cancel everything else.
Yeah, I mean, like our planet is dying in front of us. Some people don't believe it, just like they don't believe a lot of stuff. It's crazy the things they choose to believe and the things they choose not to believe, and how most of the things they choose not to believe are actually happening right before them. It's just frustrating, man. We've got to do something about it. And the fact that Joe Biden is who we've got, if nobody can convince him to do something about climate change, if he becomes president, I hope he becomes president, because Trump ain't going to do shit about climate change. We know that. Now, I don't think Joe Biden will do shit about climate change, but I think if enough people can get in his ear about climate change, he'll see that, hey, this is what the party is starting to align with you doing something. I mean, even hearing Nancy Pelosi talk about climate change, I was like, what is she talking about? She, if Nancy Pelosi's talking about climate change, maybe we get a chance with Joe Biden doing something about climate change. But, I'm not going to hold my breath.
I won't either. But don't let Republicans tell you.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I know what we're talking about next. So I'm just, like, what? California does not need any help starting fires. You know what I mean? They just don't need it. And so, jeez.
So what he's alluding to is apparently this couple in California, kind of more northern California, they wanted to have a ginger reveal party, sorry. And they wanted it to be spectacular, and they wanted to use smoke bombs. So they use a smoke bomb, and like every fireworks, you need fire to cause that.
They use pyrotechnics.
They did it in a field, mind you, that this is the time that is the worst time to do those things because California is really dry right now, 121 degree weather, and they thought it was a great idea that is to tell people about their stupid child's genitalia from smoke bombs and start a humongous fire. They tried to put it on themselves, they couldn't, and now everything's out of control with that. No, that's not the only fire. That the whole entire West Coast is not their fault. But what I'm trying to allude,
a good portion of it.
What I'm trying to allude to is, when are we going to stop being so fucking selfish as a country? No one gives a fuck about your stupid kid's genitalia is. Your friends don't even fucking care. Like,
it's an excuse for them to get together and set shit on fire
and get stupid social media likes. Like,
and even the lady who did the first ever gender reveal party is against gender reveal parties.
Because it's out of fucking control.
Yeah, this is crazy. It used to be like, you pop a balloon and blue stuff or pink stuff comes out. And then everyone says, oh, is going to be a boy. Why not just call everybody and say, hey, we're going to have a boy. So if you're going to buy us some shit for the baby, make it boy shit. I don't know.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. So, I hope they get prosecuted. I hope they don't go to prison the rest of their life. That's what we'll assess it, but I hope they do get prosecuted because they caused
so much damage.
So much damage, ruining people's lives, poor animals dying. And
not maybe caused by their fire, but I think we've got a little over 10 deaths now so far.
Yeah.
It's crazy. California doesn't need help starting fires.
Yeah, and doesn't need help making the sky orange either. If you weren't on social media this week,
Look like Mad Max.
Looked like Blade Runner 2049. It did.
The sky's burning.
Yeah, and that's going to be our future, man. So we fucking start doing something about it. You think these problems are bad? Let's wait. And you think that this little unrest we've had with BLM protesters, some of them getting out of control, start not having water for people in certain areas of this world.
Yeah, and see what happens then.
See what fucking happens then. So, again, climate change.
Speaking of water, no.
Speaking of water, like.
Speaking of water, you can't put a Trump boat in this.
Right. We'll segment this 1 second, but
yeah, I know.
That was going to be a good segue, though. So before we go to that, I want to tell everyone, people listening to this probably agree, but just in case, climate change is real. Your uncle that gets his information from Facebook is an idiot. Stop listening to him. It's real. We need to do something about it. I don't know if we have 12 years to live or not, but if we don't do something, and we don't do something quickly, this planet is not going to be habitable for us, our kids, or our grandkids. So, and we have no other planets to live on for the foreseeable future. So, until we figure out how to break the speed of light, which is probably possible, we just don't know how to do it because that's likely thousands of years in the future. But that's a bigger other conversation. Again, please, I like to have kids one day, and I like to have grandkids. I want them to actually be able to have a better life than me, and we don't do things about it, they won't have a better life than me.
Yeah, for sure.
All righty. Speaking of water world and boats and hose, this minus the hose. Trump last weekend, the Trump brigade, not Trump himself for his campaign, but Trump, the Trump Boat Caucus is a huge caucus. Apparently, it's not really. If you watch The Rising, you get that joke. But apparently, Trump has the boat caucus vote locked down.
We had more boats than any other body of water has ever had. I'm hearing real good things about those boats.
So apparently, if you own a boat, you're a Trump supporter. That's what's kind of weird. But
not all people that own boats
anyway.
are Trump supporters, but all Trump supporters own boats.
or want to own boats. There you go.
Because if you can't support them on land, air, and water, how are you going to ever make it to space with his crazy ass?
If the fish in the water monsters don't know you love Trump, you're doing it wrong. So, if you're not aware, they had a big boat parade in Lake Travis, Texas. Mm-hmm. And there's conflicting reports, but somehow the smaller Trump boats were getting ravaged by waves. Some reports saying that the rich douchebags that have huge yachts are
bigger boats
causing the problem, which I haven't heard confirmation from that, but I wouldn't be surprised. And they were sinking all these tiny boats. and
which is a metaphor for Trump's whole campaign and voters.
Yeah,
it is. Mm-hmm. Like, you got to see the irony there. Like, so all the Trump supporters are out on the water, but the richer guys with the bigger boats cause the little guys with the smaller boats to flip over or sink. Or like, listen, Trump supporters who don't have boats or have little boats, you're following the wrong guy. They don't give a fuck about you. They will ride waves right next to you and drown your ass. It's so funny, man. I got a kick out of this. As soon as I started watching video of the Trump 2020 flag just going slowly down into the water, I was like, we're not watching no movies tonight. We're going to watch this. This is entertainment. Evangelicals have found out that God doesn't want them supporting Trump on water. Now, if he could just give them a message when they're on land, we'll be straight. Oh, man. It's hilarious, man. It is. And you got to see the irony, man, of your boat ain't big enough to come out here and support Trump. You spent all that money on that little boat and all them flags, and some jackass in a bigger boat sunk your shit with your family in it. And you mad at protesters. Y'all got sunk by a bigger ship. You need to redirect your anger, dude. Yeah.
That's what you get when you try to play they sunk my battleship when you don't have a battleship.
That's it. That's it. This is Trump's water, boy.
And I'm going to end it on this. Trump, one of those boats were out on the bottom of the lake, big old Trump flag. So let's hope to make that happen in November.
Yeah. Let's sink this ship. And y'all know y'all can help us sink this ship by liking, subscribing, sharing our page. Get us on our social media. That helps us. We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers. Once we get 1,000 subscribers, we can do live stuff. And that's where we're really trying to take this show. And thank y'all for supporting us. That's what's up.
This is the Uprising. Thank you.